up, you guys? It's Erica here. Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. I appreciate it. For the newcomers, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you won't ever miss a video. So this is my channel, Erica's Diary. I'm just going to be explaining to you things that I've experienced, gone through my healing journey, in hopes that it inspires you in some sort of way. Just chilling in my room, talking to you about my business. So today I will be talking to you about my dating app chronicles. So what had happened was, I used to be that person that would be like, oh, I'm never getting on a dating app. Like, there are serial killers and murderers on there and I don't have time for none of it. That was my thought process. And honestly, you can meet someone in person and they be a serial killer. But anyway, I'm saying that is because this idea of me to even download a dating app came from me and one of my friends. We were both coming from this kind of lifestyle where we weren't really putting ourselves in situations to be, found or talked to by anybody. Like for me, if I would go out with my friends and maybe we go to a concert or dinner or, girls' night or something, like at the concerts, people would be booed up. At dinner, people would be on dates. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't really a situation where you just meet somebody that, you could potentially kick it off with. So with the idea of me and my friend, I said, look, we're not going to meet anybody by just sitting at home waiting for somebody to come knock at my front door. It's literally not going to happen. So we challenged ourselves to download a dating app for 30 days. And we said within those 30 days, the goal is to at least get 5 numbers from people. Now, me, I'm the type of person, I've never just talked to 5 different men at the same time. But the point was to try to get to know somebody new. And if you do go on a date with them, you got somebody to send their pictures, their information, and all of that, so we know what's going on. So this was around February of 2020. This was right before the world shut down. And I think, actually we started in January. I'm sorry, because the last day of the challenge was on February 15th. So I'll give you my story, right? So the first person that I met, I'll go ahead and tell you what apps I downloaded. I downloaded Hinge, and then I downloaded Black. Black is spelled BLK, and it's a little ghetto, but it be some cuties on there. If you like that, hey, the first person that I met was on that one. And I'm not gonna put his real name out there. I'm gonna spare you, but we'll just call him Jay, right? So I am a person, whether it's in person or on an app, is that I'm really intrigued by the way that you approach me. I don't like that, hey queen, what's good? Why you so fine though? Like, no, say something else. Say something more original than that. And I really have a problem with hey queen and stuff because I just feel like that's so basic. I feel like you could just go down your little list of your little likes and just do hey queen, hey queen, hey queen, hey queen. You can't do hey Erica, hey Erica, hey Erica to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least if you were to say hey Erica, how's your day? Or hey Erica, I like what you said in your profile. Hey Erica, something. Don't hey queen me. Ugh, I don't like it. Anyway, I see why I ain't got nobody, but I just don't like that, you guys. So anyway, when you hear yourself and see how petty you actually are, whew, it's amazing. Okay. So this guy, Jay, he was able to get my attention by starting a conversation off with something that I had in my bio. I think I put something like, obsessed with street tacos or something like that. I said something a little bit more clever than that, but it has something to do with street tacos, and which I love, by the way. And he started off a normal conversation, and I was intrigued by that because I'm like, that's really all it takes. You ain't gotta be weird. You ain't gotta come off too hard. Like, just have a normal conversation with me, and that will get a conversation out of me. So he started saying like, oh, well, I know some dope places, or, you know, this place is really good. What kind do you like, you know, and that's how we started our conversation. And it was cool. It was on no weird stuff. I didn't feel like he was trying to push up on me, you know, so he really got my attention. So in my mind, I was like, okay, well, this will be my number, you know, my first number. And I liked he ended up maybe like 2 or 3 days after talking on the app, he ended up asking me for my number, but I liked the way he did it. So this is what he did. This is clever, okay? He said that, he was like, instead of just straight up asking, he was like, do you mind if I give you my number? And I'm like, okay, so it's in my court. I'm in control. So, I don't know why I'm so goofy today. You guys, I swear, it's like the middle of the day. There's no reason for me to be acting like this. Anyway, so I thought that was really cute. So of course I text that baby right quick, and we continued our conversation. It wasn't awkward, it wasn't weird, it just flowed. I'm very big on, can I have a normal conversation with you? Can I talk to you like you're my friend? It doesn't have to be no weird, like, I'm not like, don't try to talk to me like you're looking for sex. Like, I don't like that. I'm not gonna talk to you like that. I was literally just trying to put myself out there to see if I can connect with somebody, because I had not been on any dates in years. I had not been in a relationship in years. And you guys, if you have not seen my relationship story about my last relationship, it's called God, Why Me? Please check that out. It is intense. I'm just gonna forewarn you. But I hadn't been on any dates or anything since him, so this was all new for me. So we started talking for a couple days, and this is how he got me again. He was very intentional about setting up dates, taking me out. Now, ladies, I know that we do not like when guys leave it up to us. Okay, I don't know any woman, none of my friends just like it when guys are like, oh, well, whatever you want to do. Like, no, it's not whatever I want to do. I mean, it is whatever I want to do, but it's not whatever I want to do. You know, like, make some suggestions, act like you have a plan. It's literally that simple. So he was like, hey, I remember you telling me that you love Cajun food, you love live music, and I know of this spot that we can go to. He was like, I called. He was like, can I take you out? I would love to, you know, meet you in person. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And so then he was like, oh, well, I called the restaurant and they, you know, seem to not be taking reservations, but I'm sure we'll be okay. I was like, you was about to call and make reservations? What? I was so impressed. And that is a big for me, because it's hard to like impress me. It's like I'd be impressed with the most simple things that people normally don't do. So I was like, okay, he really showing some intent. So we meet at the restaurant. Of course, I give my friend who's doing this challenge with me, I give her all his details. He drove for Uber on the side. So he even sent me like his Uber profile and everything, got that license plate, sent it to her. Like, I wasn't like, it was cute that you want to take me out to hear a little live band, but I'm gonna just make sure you ain't trying to get me either. We have to be smart about that. Like, I know I'm being funny, but it's for real. We got to be smart about that. So we had a nice time. When I saw him, he looked a little bit heavier than his picture, which was fine, because the main pictures that I saw were like summertime pictures. So, you know, he was wearing like, you know, shorts. One of them had like a tank on, and, you know, one of them had a t-shirt and shorts, you know. But when I saw him, you know, this was in January, so it was cold, and he just looked a little bit fluffier, which is fine, you know. But I was like, and then he had braces, and I'm like, in your pictures you didn't have braces, so when did you get these braces, homie? And I'm all for straightening your teeth, okay? I'm all for good dental work. But my point is, he just didn't really look like what he looked like in his picture. But he has these beautiful green eyes. I was like, wow, that's how you sucking me in, because them eyes, beautiful. So anyway, we had a great time at this restaurant, but it was a little loud in there with the music. So he's like, well, I know this other spot that's like 3 doors down. We can literally walk to it. And I was like, oh, what's it called? Let me look it up. So just to make sure that it's really 3 doors down before you be walking me down the alley. So so he took me to this spot that was actually a barbershop during the day, but in the back they have like this really dope like lounge and bar area where like local artists will just like get on stage and like premiere their music. It was so cool. I love stuff like that. And we were sitting at the bar, and like the bartender, I guess our chemistry was so good that the bartender, he was like, wait, he was like, are y'all newlyweds? And I'm like, really? Newlyweds? I'm like, I literally just met him today. So that was fun. And then he was like, okay, he walked me to my car, and that was it. So then, you know, the conversations kept going really good. And then he was like, you know what? So I know that you came all the way downtown to my side of town. I'm gonna, you know, he was like, let's do something. He was like, what else do you like to do? And I was like, well, I like to, you know, do something competitive or do something fun and active or something. He was like, oh, well, let's go bowling. So we went bowling on my side of town, and this also impressed me. We had a set time that we were going to meet. Well, he ended up texting me like maybe 30 minutes before and was like, hey, I'm actually around the corner. He was like, just take your time. I know we agreed for 2:00 or whatever. And he was like, I'm gonna be here. Just take your time. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I'm almost ready. So, you know, I'll see you in like 10 minutes or whatever. So I get there, y'all. He had the bowling lane. He had, it was like one of them little private rooms. He had the bowling lane in the private room. He had already ordered some, fried pickles, and he was waiting on me to order a drink. And so really all I had to do was show up and get my bowling shoes. I was like, yes, this is the initiative that I have been talking about. Yes, just show up and show out, okay? So I'm making this man sound real good right now, but he not. So I'm trying to make this story quick. So we made a bet on the bowling, like whoever lost would have to buy the other one some street tacos. So I lost, which I honestly didn't think I would, because I'm actually pretty good at bowling, but I blamed it on my long nails, is why I couldn't really hold the ball like that. But so we go down the street to one of my favorite taco spots, and we eat, and he ends up, you know, buying us like a whole bunch of drinks. And we sat in that restaurant for maybe like 3 hours just talking. And I was like proud of myself, because I was like, this is the first time that I could really like, you know, have a decent conversation with a man and it not be like weird or like you trying to get something out of me. So then the next day he was like, okay, so I'm gonna let you choose where we go. And I was like, okay, well, I want to try somewhere new that neither one of us have ever been. So I found this really cool spot. It was where you could play like board games, and you can get like flights of wine or flights of beer or whatever you like to drink, and pizza, and it was just a really cool like sportsy kind of bar place. And so I thought it was cool. The weird thing that I kind of picked up but didn't really say anything because I felt like it wasn't a big deal, he was early again. And I was like, okay, are you just early or what? Because I'm usually the person that's on time. I'm never really late. So he ends up, you know, he was just sitting in the parking lot waiting for me. So he gets out the car and he's like in these Nike sweats, just chilling. And I'm like, and I done put my curly clip-ins in my hair. I done bought this real cute, like kimono from Target. I had my favorite ripped jeans on, makeup done, just looking real cute. And here you go with the sweats. And I'm like, to me, it just kind of threw me off. It looked like he literally rolled out of the bed. And I was like, okay, you ain't even gonna try to put no effort, no brush the waves forward or nothing. So I was like, okay, it's just something I noticed. I observed it. And we are at this restaurant, we're playing games, it's fun. And then he goes, yeah, I just want to go ahead and make it clear that I'm not looking for no relationship. And I was like, okay. Because to me, I'm like, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm looking to connect with somebody. But if it potentially could go there, then yes. But I'm not out here like looking for my husband. Are you him? Are you him? Like, no, that ain't me at all. Like, it's going to take me a while to get there with you. So I just thought that was weird. So I was like, okay, well, thanks for letting me know. I was like, it's been cool hanging out with you. So then the next day was like Monday, so during the work week or whatever, and I really didn't hear from him. And I was like, okay, well, let me just text and be like, hey, what's up? You know, everything good? How's your week going? You know, real cool. And he was like, man, I just got a lot going on. I'm sorry that I haven't, you know, been so responsive to you, but I just have so much going on. I'm so stressed out about this, that, and the other. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, let me know if you need anything. And that's it. That's all I said. I get a response back that says, I don't know how long you and Jay have been talking, but we're still technically in a relationship and we have a child together. We live together and there's one on the way. What? I'm sorry, what? So I immediately just screenshot it and sent it in a group chat to all my friends. I was like, look at this. I definitely sent it to my friend who's doing the challenge with me. She was like, the nerve. And she was like, first of all, what does technically in a relationship mean? Either you are or you're not. So what's funny is I knew that he had a child already, because he told me that, and the child was very young, like 2. No, I think the child was 1, which is super young. I'm like, she basically just had her. So I was just like, you know, I asked all the questions. I was like, okay, what is the relationship with you and the mother? Where do you live? Where does she live? Like all of that. And he had answers for me. And so I was like, so you just lied. You just flat out lied. And because I asked all the questions. So moral of the story, you can ask all the questions, they still gonna lie. Like, I was just like, okay, I don't want no parts of none of this. I'm not trying to be with your man, and your man is on a dating app, boo. I mean, I didn't say that. I did not respond to the text at all. I did not call him at all. I was not trying to like get into it with her or him or whatever. And I just literally deaded the whole situation by just not even responding. Because I thought that was stupid. I'm like, why would you go through all this effort? But it explains why he would be early at some places and why he would, you know, kind of look like he rolled out the bed that last time we were together. Because I feel like because he drove for Uber, he probably was telling her that he was out doing Uber rides. Because I'm like, we were together for like 5, 6, 7 hours straight. So where do you think that he is? Church? Like, I don't understand. So that was dude number 1. And side note about dude number 1 is we had followed each other on social media, and I had realized that he unfollowed me. So I was like, let me look at his freaking page. And this was like, I want to say around Christmas time maybe. And he was like taking one of them, you know, in their little cute little pajamas and with the little newborn baby in his hand. And I'm like, sis, your man is all on the dating app. Sis. I mean, but that's your man. I don't know. And it kind of pissed me off because I'm like, you're the one in these little cute pajamas on Christmas and you're doing all this. Like, and I'm over here like literally being honest about everything and you're being stupid. So I was like, boy, bye. So guy number 2, we'll just call him V. Let's call him V. He was really cool. Again, he approached me with a normal conversation. And the thing about him is like, once we exchanged numbers, he like quickly FaceTimed me. And I guess that was his way of trying to see if I really look like my pictures. Because I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. To me, I feel like you got to know each other, be trying to FaceTime. But I didn't care. He was like, I was like, you know, you're FaceTiming me when I'm like about to go to bed and I have my glasses on, my bonnet around my head. Like, I'm not trying to look cute for nobody. And then he was just like, well, I got to see, you know, what I'm dealing with. I was like, okay, that's fine. He was really cool. We got along very well. The only thing about him is that actually our first date, he really didn't take no initiative. He wasn't intentional about anything. Like, he just was like, hey, you want to come to my house? No. I said, I don't know you. I'm not coming to your house. And I tried to say it where I didn't sound rude. So I was like, boy, I'm not coming to your house because I could be crazy. I could take everything you got. And he was like, well, I don't really have much for you to take. So, sir, that is not the point. I was like, I'm not coming to your house. I was like, you need to meet me somewhere. I was like, we can meet at a restaurant or something. And then so finally we meet at a restaurant. The first date, he was late. And he lived like 10 minutes from around the corner. And I came further. So I'm like, was pissed. But then when I get there, it was fine. We had food and drinks. And then he reveals that he has 3 children by 2 baby mamas. And I was just like, oh, okay. That was just too much for me. That was, something that I didn't want to deal with. I don't have any children. I have dated men that had children and it just never ended up in a good situation. Hello, the story I just told you. So he had a lot of other things in his past that affect the present, and I just was not dealing with none of that. So I knew I could not take him serious. It would have been just way too much. Not that I'm saying I'm judging this man by his past, but it was like me more so taking note of his patterns. There's a difference. So me and him, we just kind of stopped communicating. It just kind of fell off, but it's no beef. I know if I were to hit him up, be like, hey, what you doing? He'd be like, oh yeah, come out with me and my friends or whatever. That's how he would be. And it would be no hard feelings. So then this the third guy, I thought he was the one, y'all, because on paper and the fineness, I thought he was the one. We'll just call him A. So A approached me real normal, and he even gave me a compliment. He was like, I'm just so impressed by our conversation. He was like, it flows. He was like, a lot of people on here don't even know how to talk or don't even know how to have a conversation. And I found that to be true too. A lot of people that I did come in contact with did not know how to hold a conversation. If I'm asking them, hey, how's your day going, or what'd you do today, or something like that, they'd be like, oh, I'm headed to the gym. Okay, you ain't gonna follow up with, I'm headed to the gym, about to do this. What are you doing? It was just dry. And I'm like, I'm not with dry conversation. Especially when you're trying to get to know someone. So he wasn't dry. And so he actually, we exchanged numbers, obviously. And then he was calling me. Not on FaceTime, but regular call, which I love. I'm that old school person where I feel like if you're trying to get to know me, call my phone. Don't just text me only. Yes, do that in addition to calling me. I need to hear your voice. I need you to hear my voice. I need you to hear me laugh. I need to hear you laugh. Come on. So I appreciated that about him. But like I said earlier in the video, I'm not really used to having a whole bunch of dudes' numbers. So he would call me when I'm with when I'm with V, and then I would miss his call, then I would call him back, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, what's up, I'm calling you. And I'm like, oh, I was, just out. I didn't owe no explanation, but it was just weird. So he was really cool because he was very successful in his career, very established in his career, which is a turn on, because I need you to be, intelligent and have, your own purpose for what you're doing in life. And he had that. And he, owned his own home. He didn't have any children. He was never been married, not married. I asked all the questions. I was like, hey, do you have a wife? Do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a baby mama? Do you have anybody in your life that may think that they are any of these women? Because I don't have time. And he was telling me that he was, from DC, and that he was looking for other jobs. He had a really great career. So impressive, so intelligent, fine. First of all, he was 6'7", dark chocolate, beautiful white smile, big thick beard, just so handsome. I was like, yes, God, thank you. You see me trying. It's hard out here for a pimp. I hope y'all are laughing with me, because if you're not, this is real embarrassing. So he ended up, trying to make a plan to go meet at a restaurant. Well, then I just never heard from him. So he basically ghosted me and never heard from him. Literally never heard from him. He ghosted himself off of social media. Then he all of a sudden popped back up on my feed, and apparently he moved to DC. And that's all that I heard from him. Never have heard from him ever again. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to leave that alone. But I was like, dang, if you ever get some sense back in your head, I'm here. So then let's see, that was how many? 4 guys. So yes, so the 5th one, we'll call him M. He just was like the kind of guy that like didn't have any like real intention of like taking you out nowhere. Like, he would be like, oh yeah, we should meet up for drinks. I'm like, okay, cool, well, let me know. He's like, yeah, are you available Friday? I'm like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And then, you know, Friday come, you never hear from him. Saturday come, you never hear from him. Sunday, oh, my bad, Erica, you know, we're not doing that. We're not doing it. So that would be my dating app chronicles. So my friend that was doing the challenge with me, she was so sweet, because when she found out about the Jay story, about him living with his baby mama and she pregnant and all this kind of stuff, because the challenge ended on February 15th, literally the day after Valentine's Day, she sent me this package of like chocolate covered fruit. And I just thought that was so sweet. And she was just like, sent me a note like, girl, I can't tell you what she said on the note, but basically like, forget them. And I just thought that was so sweet. But at the end of the day, the only thing that I've learned from that was that I was willing to put myself out there and meet different types of people to see what kind of conversations I could have with people, see who I can meet. And I ended up, you know, taking my profile down, deleting everything. And I was like, obviously my man ain't on here. Obviously my husband is not on here. And if he is, he better get off. But obviously this is not for me. It was something that I tried, but it was just, my whole consensus is that a lot of the people just weren't honest. They didn't have really good intentions on anything. A lot of guys that I actually didn't get their number, but I did kind of chat with them. They were like, well, honestly, I'm not looking for nothing serious. I'm just looking for a friend. We can kick it. Like, boy, I am in my mid-30s. I ain't got time to be kicking it with you, okay? So that would be my dating app chronicles. I did not think these stories would last this long, but I will not be downloading any more dating apps. I will not be trying it, because for me, I'm in the position in my life where I feel like I'm ready for an actual love. I'm ready for an actual relationship. I'm not trying to rush it though. Like, I just really wanted to build off of a friendship. I think that's the most important, is when you can meet someone and you click and you vibe as friends first. You actually like each other as friends. And then if you decide to move into that, then that is where, you know, a beautiful relationship can be built. So stay tuned for the next video. So make sure you subscribe, because my next video, I will tell you about the guy that I met right after I had deleted all the dating apps, and tell you about that whole debacle. So be sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, as I said, and I thank you for listening to my rampage. Please leave any comments. I would love to hear your dating app stories. Are you on a dating app? What were your experiences? I would love to know if you experienced the same craziness that I did. And I will see you next time. Love and light. Bye, guys.